Support for Radio Friends comes from La Brunerie Financial, where they work to ensure a lifetime of financial security for people from all walks of life, from investment services to retirement plans. If you're looking for a trustworthy company that has the experience and knowledge to put your interests first, contact La Brunerie Financial, a community-based investment counseling firm since 1966. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Monday, March the 16th. We're talking about TRYPS today. And Jill Womack is here. Who better to talk about TRYPS with than Jill Womack?
I love TRYPS.
Well, you are
I just
TRYPS.
love it.
You are TRYPS.
I love it.
It's been around how many years now, Jill?
20.
Yeah.
20 years. I'm like a TRYPS grandma several times over now. It's extraordinary.
All right. Today with TRYPS, and TRYPS is theater.
Theater reaching young people and schools.
And schools.
Yep.
Okay. That's what TRYPS stands for.
That's what it is.
But you got spring classes coming up.
We do. So we've got classes for ages 10 months all the way through senior in high school.
I always find that amazing when you tell me that you've got theater classes for kids that are 10 months old. Now, what is a 10-month-old kid learning in theater class?
Lots of things. Well, so it's a parent and peanut class, so the parents stay with their peanut.
Okay.
And we are teaching them how to share. We're teaching them verbal skills, motor skills, because we have bubbles and parachutes and rhythm instruments. It's really fun. It's really a fun class.
Okay, so
Yeah.
from 10 months old to
12th grade.
12th grade.
I know.
Okay.
So we're doing creative drama, and with the creative drama, we usually choose titles that the kids are familiar with. So even if you're walking in the door cold and you've never done it before, at least you know who Snow White and Peppa Pig are. So you can choose between those two if you're have a youngster ages 3 to 5.
Yeah.
And then we're going to take the story of Jungle Book and pull it down to a mini play, so our kids are learning how to be in a show. What are the theater terms I need to know? How do I memorize lines? What is a cue? So they're learning all kinds of theater skills.
Now, what age group are you doing this
The
with?
mini shows are for grades K2 has one group and grades 3-7 has another.
For kindergarten? So you got kindergarten kids in the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
And they're doing the whole show.
No, it's just a little snippet. So we'll write something special. So it may be a day with King Louie, and we will spend a day with the monkeys, and the kids are learning how to make their character and pick up their lines and what is upstage, what is downstage. So we're teaching them a lot of things because we're going to get ready for Newsies. Newsies auditions are April 4th, and that's for our kids who are rising 3rd grade all the way through college. Holy guacamole.
Really? So you take them when they're still in diapers till they're almost
Cradle to
getting married.
college, baby. Cradle to college.
How many kids, over the 20 years,
Oh, gosh.
how many kids do you know? That's not a fair question,
I think
is it?
I think it's over 200,000. If you think about the kids who've been in the audience with the schools.
Over 200,000?
Because we have all the schools coming to the weekday performances, and we have 1,200 enrollments a year with our camps and classes and workshops. So 20 years is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of youngins.
It
and
is.
That's awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
And they're all having a good time. And
They
they've all
are.
learned something, too.
They are, and like I said, we love that they learn about theater, but you know, what they're really learning is to be a team and to be leaders and to problem solve. So all the life skills that they're picking up that's wrapped up in that wonderful little play experience, that's what's going to stay with them forever.
And it's learning how to work together.
Right.
Because when you're in a play or you're in a production, it is part of a team. And
Yeah,
you've
we
got
talk
to,
about why nobody likes a group project. I'm like, this is the biggest group project of all, so
Right.
everybody's got to do their job.
Okay.
Yep.
So if people want to sign up for spring classes,
We have spring classes and spring break. So spring break is to help families who aren't off the week of spring break that the kids are. And we've chosen the Descendants theme, and we'll write something special for that. But you can always go online, tripskids.com, and that's where enrollment forms are and schedules are. You can see our big calendar of events.
okay.
That's a lot.
Jill
Yeah.
Womack, always a pleasure
my
to have
gosh,
you
it's
here.
great to see you.
I hope we can keep going for another 20 years
I do
with you.
too.
Okay?
I do too.
All right.
Yay.
I'll be 100 and something. And
I'll be pushing it.
all right. For more information, the website is TRYPSkids.com. CASA.com. Now I want to introduce you to Kelly Hill, Heart of Missouri CASA. Good to have you back
thank
again,
you.
Kelly. Explain what CASA is.
Yes, CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. Essentially, what we do at Heart of Missouri CASA is train and support volunteers from the community who advocate for children who are in foster care because of abuse and neglect they've experienced.
Yeah. How many kids are you advocating for that are in foster care in this area?
So today we are advocating for about 240 kids right now.
240?
Yeah. Unfortunately, there are over 500 kids in our judicial circuit, Boone and Callaway counties, who are in foster care today. So we still have a lot of kids.
You're saying there's over 500 kids in foster care. You're advocating for 240,
About half.
which means there's 260 that are on their own.
Right. Yep. We need a lot more advocates. So that's why we do training about 4 or 5 times a year, and we're actually recruiting new volunteers to take one of our 2 April training classes. We have a daytime, noon to 3, and we also have an evening of 5:30 to 8:30.
So you need to come up with at least 260 to 300 new volunteers to be advocates.
Volunteers can serve on a case with a sibling set, so it's about 2 kids on average per volunteer. So not every volunteer has just one child. They might have a sibling group with 2 or 3 kids. Mm-hmm. So we would need about half of that. So about 125, 130 volunteers is what we would need to fill the entire
everybody,
need. Mm-hmm.
to fill everybody. Mm-hmm. So what happens to the kids that do not have an advocate?
Well, they go through the system
on their own.
On their own, yeah. Research has shown that kids that have a CASA usually do have better outcomes. They exit the system on average about 2 to 3 months quicker than kids that don't have a CASA. And they also receive a lot more interventions and services to address the trauma that they've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So if somebody listening or watching is interested in volunteering, what is expected of them?
So they initially will do an application, do an interview. We do background screenings. If all of those are good, they take our 30-hour training class. It's 15 hours online and 15 hours in person. If all is well, after all of that, they actually go through a swearing-in ceremony with our courts, become an officer of the court, and then they're matched with a case. Volunteers give about 6 to 10 hours a month on their case. So they visit the kids 2 times a month. They interface with the professionals in the meetings in the court.
Can they visit more than 2 times a month if they want?
They can. We don't always recommend it. In part because sometimes volunteers are very eager at the onset, mm-hmm. and then cases can go sometimes for 2 or more years, and so sometimes that eagerness can fall off a little bit.
So,
we don't want it
about 2 times a month. Is it at the home?
So if the kids are school age, we ask that they visit at least once at school and once at home.
Okay.
So there's a mix there.
All right. If people want more information, or if they would like to volunteer, or if they'd like to make a donation, the website is
homcasa.org.
homcasa.org.
Yep.
Kelly Hill, thank you so much for coming back. Please come back again.
All right, we will.
Okay, pepperpmissouri.edu if there's something you'd like to hear or see. Bye-bye.